Japanese week. Easy peasy Japanesey. Not so easy. They're not so nuts. I want to please you. It's Japanese week in the Bake Off tent. It's something a little bit different. Like this room that I'm in. I know if you're watching this on the video, it's not my normal, Conde background here. It's got this fucking soft dampeners here, and it doesn't really do much apart from the blue brings out my eyes. Blee. But it's a different room. We're in lockdown, and although you might not be able to see your family, your friends, your loved ones, if I were to take this podcast video away from you, you'd have fucking riots on the street, so I'm not going to do that. We're here, we're talking Bake Off, everything's normal. Everything's normal as long as I can watch the podcast. Everything's normal as long as I can watch the podcast. Anyway. It is Japanese week, and bloody Matt and Noel come out dressed as manga characters, only bloody Matt does not get the memo, and he dresses as a mango character. And I'm not talking about bloody Mango Math Man. He doesn't put glasses on or anything like that. He's a fucking head. He's a mango. And I tell you, not to be bloody bad, but because he's bald, I couldn't tell the difference. I can't see people who have a face and people who don't have a face. When he was a mango, he looked exactly like he does with his head, because I don't see faces, I don't see colours. You know what I mean? Everyone is black to me. You know what I mean? Anyway, we're here. It's Japanese week, and Dave is starting. He's got this android-like efficiency. I want to bring something original to the Bake Off tent, is what he says. Something original, like a mass genocide. We've not seen it before. That's very intense, but he's fucking good. I know I slag him, but he might be a bicentennial man, but he delivers. You know what I mean? He's a bloody bicentennial postman. What do you want to call him? Anyway. And then Lottie says, look, everyone has their own originality here. Some people have strengths, some people have weaknesses. That's what makes it so interesting. That kind of thing she was saying. I didn't really pay much attention. I was just looking at her say that. And I said to Terry, I was like, isn't that brilliant? That's a perfect description for the season. It's so equally balanced. And she said, I fucking told you that weeks ago. And she did, to be perfectly honest. My wife did. But Lottie said it now, Terry. Do you know what I mean? So let's pay attention. Anyway, they're making some steamed buns. Oh my God. My asshole's on fire. Steamed buns, aka as they're called in Japan, bow wow. Do 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 do. Bon Jovi, bow wow. Do 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 do. This ain't a bun for the English market. Bow wow. It's bow they're making. They're making bow. And Matt and Noel have some top drawer satanic banter where Matt says, what would you put in the bloody bow? And he goes, human blood. And Matt says, you can't do that. It's a family show. And he goes, dog blood. And it's funny. I find that kind of thing funny because they're kind of alluding to the QAnon conspiracy of adrenochrome, and Noel is in on the kind of Laura reptilian kind of agenda, and I just like seeing more people admit that they are part of the Illuminati. It's exciting to see. Anyway, her mind says, the adrenaline's kicked in! Well, you better stay away from Noel and Laura. They'll fucking drain the adrenaline, the adrenochrome. Start buzzing off of LSD. If you don't know what I'm talking about, keep it that way. I've looked up some awful things online last night. Anyway. Dave is making some chicken-shaped KATSU buns, cute little chicks, like the ones he was forced to crush in a shopping basket to prove his obedience circuitry was rigged the right way. Blame. No. He doesn't crush any chickens. They're cute little things. And they're not as cute as bloody Hermione's little pandas. Little pandas. All your pandas. And Peter's making cute little lambs. Little lamb mince. Like me, he says. Well, he doesn't say that. Does he say that? Or did I write that? Like him. He's a cute little lamb. But then he says more Chinese than Japanese. Like there's really no difference in that. Well, I tell you, Peter, if there's no bloody difference, then how about I start referring to you as Peter the Englishman, if there's no bloody difference, huh? So Peter the Englishman is making nice little lambs. Laura's making little pigs. He's making little pigs, little caramelized pork belly. Paul is excited so much. Delicious. And I love this whole idea of chopping up the flesh of the animal in some flour and dough and presenting it back in a kind of emoji form. Like, that's just cute. It's insane, isn't it? Like cute little chicks and cute minced up flesh of a lamb served back to you. Like, oh, that's lovely. It's so cute. It's insane. I love it. Well, I don't love it, but I find it interesting. And I don't have a point. So I say I love or I hate. Do you know what I mean? Some people do that. I'm one of them. Mark, I'm doing want burger buns. No gherkin, that's fine. I'll take the gherkin out. Paul doesn't want gherkins in it. Lottie's also doing burgers. Literal steamed hams. Apart from them being beef. You know what I mean? Hamburger. Yeah. And her and Mark are getting on like a bloody bun on a steamer, a house on fire. And the bloody sexual tension between her and Mark made me furious. I was livid. I said, that's bollocks. I said to Terry, that's bollocks. Shouldn't be on the TV. My hat keeps falling off because my hair is so clean. There's a lot. Anyway, Lottie's also not putting any gherkin in for Paul. He lays it on full scouse. Matt is even having to go, say the gherkin's not working. And I found that funny. It reminded me of the song Polythene Pam by the Beatles, where there's a line of, she's the kind of the girl who reads the news of the world. Polythene Pam, check it out. Hermione's making chicken nickel man with some dried shrimp. Paul says, you know what, Hermione, you are the most consistent baker in this competition. And Hermione takes it as a compliment, but I think he's kind of been like, you gotta step that pussy up. But she takes it as a compliment. She's like, Paul says I'm most consistent, isn't that lovely? She says she doesn't know much about Japanese, but she's going to make some French stuff. So, best of luck to you. Again, the bloody banter between Lottie and Mark is electric. She's making chips. And Mark's, did they ask for chips? Are you going to steam the chips? And she goes, yeah, I'm going to steam the chips, you mug. The banter is just... And she goes, and then she's stepping it up. She's like, cakes are boring. This woman is wild. And I looked at her Instagram there and she was playing Ghost of Tsushima. I'm playing that game as well. She plays games as well. We're very similar. Anyway, judges' critiques, I don't know, whatever. Boring. It's not exciting. It's fine. Judges' critiques, Hermione, the filling's delicious, they say. Northern Irish Mark, nice smooth shape, nice filling, tastes good. Good bun, but dry. Kind of like Angus Deaton, you know? Angus Deaton's arse, you know? Good bun, bit dry, you know? Jimmy Carr's arse, you know? Anyway, Laura, Laura's little piggies, and, you know, I can say this because he's dead, looked like post-fire Michael Jackson after he did that ad for Pepsi and set himself on fire and then his skin was all patchy. They look like that. And I can say that because he's a paedophile and dead. So, anyway, Mark is, dal, and it sounds great. If you've never had a good dal, you're missing out. A dal, and that sounds great. A little nice pillowy Cornish Mark, and a nice little dal sounds great. But too big, says Paul. Oh, I have no point to make about that. But I was hungry, so I took offence with that it was too big. Because I was like, well, give it to me. My hats keep falling off my head because my hair's too clean. Anyway, Dave, love the chicken. More filling, though. Mash more of those fucking birds, dead birds, into this cute emoji. Imagine that, serving you up chopped up Tony Cantwell flesh in a little emoji glasses bun. Like, oh, isn't that so cute? And blood dribbling down your fucking mouth. That's what we do as meat eaters. I don't know why this is the kick that I'm on at the moment, but anyway, Peter, the lambs, they're not tight around the meat. All right, Paul, I didn't know you were bloody Welsh. I shouldn't be doing. Why am I a sheepshagger? Is I making a sheepshagger joke? I don't even know that. Let me just give you. That's an example of me taking someone else's cultural fucking whatever. That's me taking someone else's racist patter and using it just to fill. A lot of people shag sheep. They do it. I watched a whole Vice documentary on them doing it. Not in Wales. I'm sorry about that now. I didn't mean to offend anyone from Wales. No, I'm upset at myself now. Anyway, Peter, more meat than dough. Tastes wonderful, great flavour. Lottie, it looks like a burger, says Paul. A fucking burger, that's a beautiful bun. Northern Irish Mark went well, and he says, I'm chuffed it's come off well. Been here before, though. Good signature, and then it's all gone wrong. Chilling vision of things to come, and I'm terrified. At this point, I'm like, what if that happened to my prize pig, Mark? And I mean that because I get to use his voice for the sake of entertaining you. If you take him and Linda's bloody spliff patter, then what am I other than a fucking loser? Sorry, I don't know I'm having to go myself. Technical. They're making a matcha crepe cake, says Prue, and there's nothing here that you haven't done before. Dave says, I've never even heard of a crepe. He's freaked. Someone obviously didn't put the little USB. He didn't get plugged into fucking the Matrix like Neo. I know crepes. You don't get that. They have to make 11 crepes, which means that the batter is thin. It has to be a thin crepe. There's not enough batter. Laura says, I actually hate matcha. It actually smells like grass and not the good type of fucking grass. Do. Linda's back. Here we go. Do. It doesn't smell like hash. And it does. It doesn't. I don't like it. It's fucking grassy. It's all earthy. I don't like it. Hermione says, I love matcha. It's got lots of antioxidants. Northern Irish Mark is whisking some fucking butter because he wants to make them wafer thin. And so thin, we see these crepes be, that Peter's... I had to put my hat back on again. They're so bloody thin that Peter starts breaking. Little thin Peter. Crepes start breaking. And Noel is so bloody bored by watching these people make crepes that he starts fucking with them, saying, like, why don't you flip your crepe? Jeopardize your opportunity at winning, the bake-off. And it's fun. I like send in more people to fuck with them, more plants like Sura, and Dave uses his zzz, like Terminator focus to be able to flip perfectly. And as a treat for successfully flipping his crepe, Noel rubs his nipple antennae. Sends a message back to Dave's owner. Dave did well. Peter cleverly leaves his greaseproof paper on, so he leaves it in a little basket, lets it cool, and then takes it out. Mark is not so smart. He tries to pull it out, like fucking removing a tablecloth or rubbing it, but he's gonna take someone up like a duvet. Anyway, it ends up looking like a fucking shit kind of unmade bed on the side. It doesn't look great. So Dave doesn't know what a fucking crescent is. Again, didn't get the Neo. I know what a crescent is, So he makes 4 seasons. It's like, hey Google, make me a crescent. Did you mean 4 seasons? And you're like, no, I didn't mean that. But it's, you can see it in action. Peter makes a little joke. English Peter makes a little joke. He goes, game, set, matcha. Reminds me of the time that I got sent outside of class in English, and my teacher was like, you need to get outside. We're sending you outside the class. We're sending you out with lines, she said. And I said, oh, what are we, the bloody Colosseum? But I said it real, like, oh, what are we, the bloody Colosseum? Real timid. And everyone was like, yeah. Peter's the same, kind of like timid gags. Anyway, judges' critiques. Cornish Mark. Northern Irish Mark. The straws are too thick, and it's not tucked in. Dave, Grenache okay, thin straws. Hermione, full circle Grenache is okay. Lottie, it cuts well, and it's pretty neat. Like me. That's me cutting the cheese. Grenache is delicious. Peter, very nice cuts. Sounds like, no. Looks great. Laura, very thin. Crepes, too thick. Too chewy. Too chewy. Mark, it's a muddled mess. Not many layers. Very thick layers, says Paul. Laura is fucking dead last. Oh my God, Laura is in the firing line. Not enough crepe. Cornish Mark is next. Northern Irish Mark is third last. It's not boding well. Number 1 is Peter. Lottie number 2. And then, no, that's not fucking Peter. That's Dave. Dave's third. Peter, lovely Peter, is first. Lovely Lottie is second. And C3P Dave is third. C3P third. Third PO. Showstopper, make a kawaii cake. And I'm doing cute there. No. I'm doing cute face. That's all I was doing with that. All right. Kawaii cake. Cute and charming. Mark says, when I heard cute, I'm gonna make an avocado, baby. Don't ask me why. Don't fucking ask me why. When you said kawaii, I thought of fucking avocado, baby. And he makes a little avocado baby. Dave is making his little Shiba. He's got his own little Shiba dog. And he's named, after his own dog, which is also named Yokohama. Yokohama. I think for the tires. I think he's a big car nut. Imagine seeing a nut drive a car. That'd be, what would you call that? I'll think of a nut. Think of a few nut driving a car puns. Almond. What? I'll think of something. No, I'll think of. What a waste of time. Cornish Mark is making a cake look like his border collie, Hamish. And I tell you what, it doesn't look anything like a border collie. It looks like a fucking bin. So you'd be glad to know that. It looks like a fucking bin. Lottie's making a cotton jiggle cake. Oh my God. With a toadstool, very ambitious. Her mind says, I used to work in Slough. That was a Japanese garden. And then she gets bored of her own boring story and walks off while she's talking about her boring Japanese garden cake. And it is boring. Peter names his cake Dizzy the Shuttlecock Badminton. And he says, they only use left wings for a goose. I'm not doing his voice very well. And it frustrates me so much. And then Noel is like, goose feathers, shuttlecock, you're like a fantasy boy. I'm in love with you. And Peter is happy. Laura is making an upside down pineapple cake and then starts crying. Not kawaii, crying. Kawaiing. Because of the pressure. And Noel's like, what are you talking about? It's fucking fine. Chill the fuck out, you know? And it does look good. Northern Irish Mark out of nowhere is freaked out. He's like, I'm very short on time. And Hermione looks shy. Anyway, judges' critiques. Peter, funny, cute, slightly mad. I've never had a texture like it. Funny, cute, slightly mad sounds like fucking yours truly. Prue likes it. The shuttlecock is an ace in the hole. Dave, Sheba cake looks great. The layers look all good layers, all straight. Sounds like someone I know. That's not true. Probably about 63% straight. Rosewater and matcha, that sounds fucking awful. Sounds like a fucking munch in some old lady's garden. Nom, 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 nom. Earthy fucking rose. Awful. Lottie, love the concept. It's stunning. Sponge is amazing. This girl's got to be star B. She's got to be star B. Star B in my heart, anyway. Her mind, strawberry blossom is charming but not cute. Menacing blossom, and it needs colour. The fondant is thick and the butter is thick. The flavours are great. It doesn't look good. It's boring. Mark, Cornish Mark, looks amazing. Character. It's got great layers. Tahini is a surprise, but it's welcome. Ginger lemon, it works well. Laura's upside down pineapple, it's a bit uneven. It's concertinaed, but it tastes amazing. She did it. She pulled it off. The pineapples there, very, very good cake. Ace in the hole, says Paul. And Mark's Avo baby, it's cute but scruffy. Like someone it's neat, but not very accurate. It's too tight a sponge. It's dry. It's oozy, but that's it. It's borderline inedible, says Paul. It's a shit avocado baby cake. And this is when I started freaking, because I'm like, I need Mark to stay in this competition. I have 2 gags in this. Sora being a plant, she's gone. Linda being a spliff magnet, she's gone. Mark doing a crazy voice that he doesn't actually have, that I enjoy doing, that doesn't even sound like anyone up the north. And he could be in the firing line. But luckily, Star Baker Lottie, the lovely Lottie. Give it up for Lottie. She did a great job, and she is there. She deserves Star Baker. And that's what I love about this competition. She was kind of cruising. I kind of get the vibe she came into this thinking, I'm just going to make whatever. I'm probably too far gone along, because she was kind of in the firing line earlier on. And then she's like, well, whatever happens, happens. And then she works and she pulls it out. Pulls it out of the bag. And becomes Star Baker. Meaning she was almost out and she could be in contention to win this whole thing. And then Mark, who was a fucking front runner, has a bad week. And Mark L, it's heartbreaking, but he's gone. Northern Irish Mark is gone. Mr. Tato is bloody gone. The hot Mr. Tato is gone. And I don't know what sort of fucking patter I'm going to deliver on this pod with a key joke fodder like Mark gone. A wild episode of this. We're in a different scenario here, different room, different vibe, but hopefully you still enjoyed. If you want more of this kind of shit, you know, you can find it over on the YouTube. You can find it on Instagram. But if you want more of my podcast, listen over on Spotify. Listen on Apple Podcasts. Tony Cantwell's Hit Show. It's not always a bake-off podcast. I talk about other stuff as well. So check that out. And I want to thank you, Jordan Daniel, for doing the lovely art. Commendable. Great job. I want to thank Cian Conde. Do you come from a Cian Conde for doing the theme song? I want to thank Alan here at the podcast studios for letting me use this room, even though the other room was not available. Thank you very much. And thank you very much for watching this. You know where to find me, and all the best. Stay safe.